sunshine state where the nerds play. There's a YouTuber who's leading the way. Yeah. He's got a passion for all things nerdy. Dungeons and Dragons, his world's not blurry. From comics to movies, he's got it all. He's an Outpost nerd living in a geeky world with his lightsaber shining. He's a Star Wars swerve through galaxies and adventures. He'll take you there, take you there. He's an Outpost nerd, no one can compare. Nerd power. Yeah, he's the king of nerds, catching that flare. Sunshine state where the nerds play. There's a YouTuber who's leading the way. Yeah.
Welcome, all my nerds, geeks, and dweebs to the Outpost Nerd. I am the nerd of the Outpost. I hope everyone's having a good day. Happy Star Wars Day. It is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Today, the day we celebrate Star Wars, the good, the bad, the future, and the past. That's what we're going to be talking about today at the Outpost. Hey, John, how's it going? Daisy Girl, thanks for being here. Thank you. Yes, today is May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day. One of the geeks' favorite favorite day of the year. So, how's everyone going? It is a cloudy day down here in my part of the Sunshine State, and we might be getting some rain. So, I hope everyone's doing good. So, in honor of this, I did something yesterday. Something I've always wanted. I've always wanted to buy something. I bought a lightsaber. I finally bought my own lightsaber. I cannot wait for this to get in. I got it for basically half off and free shipping due to it being May the 4th. I got an Elemental Edge RX saber. Oh, I love this. This thing's so cool looking. I love the black on gold and blue. Oh, it looks so cool. I cannot wait for this to come in with it was like 40% off with it being May the 4th. And since it's just a little over $100, I got free shipping. So I got it for like half price, a little over half price. Oh, it's so cool. Cannot wait. Give you a closer look. And it comes with it changes. You have a let's see. It's full color spectrum. The blade is 32 inches long, 2 millimeters thick, 25 pre-installed sound fonts, which is awesome. I was looking at other sites where I had like $105, $110 lightsabers, but with no sound at all. It's comes with a hilt and kit battery, one blade, Allen wrench. It looks so cool. Charging cable and user manual. Cannot wait to get to sit and share this. But it's going to be awesome. So I thought I'd just talk about my feelings about Star Wars. You know, this is something that I shared my love on other shows on other days. I've been a fan of Star Wars since I was a kid. I grew up in the 90s where the special edition version started coming out in theaters. I think the only one I can remember going to the theaters and see the special edition version that was the Return of the Jedi. My dad took me to go see that, and he took me to go see the second prequel, Attack of the Clones. And I remember one of my looking over during the asteroid chase. What seeing my dad fall asleep until till those seismic charge. Django lets those seismic charge uh, go to just boom, and him jerking up. But it was it's always had a special place for me. It my dad and I, we never had much in common, but he'd always take me to go see him if they were in the when they were in the movie theaters when I was a kid. And so it was always that special time for it was just me and him. It wasn't me, him, my mom, and my brother. It wasn't me, him, my brother. It was just me and him. Hey, John, thanks for the follow. Make sure you like and share the stream too. I'm at 147 subs. I've been trying to get to 150. You know, that's just my first little milestone I set for myself. I'm so close to 150, and YouTube keeps playing games with me. Keeps going up and down, 147 to 143, up, back up to 147, down to 143. It won't stop playing with my heart. But I wanted to share some things I love about Star Wars, some things I didn't like, some things I'm curious about how they're going to work into the future. So one of my favorite ships, I love the one thing about Star Wars, they have such amazing ships. This is my favorite ship, the Ghost. I really enjoyed Rebels. It was set during the Imperial era, the rise right before the rise of the Rebellion. If you don't know, it ends around the time A New Hope begins, and it had some of the coolest ships, and the Ghost was by far the coolest. Named for I'll read it a little bit. Named for its ability to travel past Imperial sensors without detection, the Ghost has served as captain and pilot Harrison Nula and her droid chopper for more than a decade. A customer VCX 1000 light freighter, the Ghost boasts a number of systems designed to elude foes, including a 360-degree dorsal laser turret, 2 forward laser cannons, and 2 rear laser cannons. During the time of the Empire, the starship also served as a mobile base for Syndulla's small band of rebels working to aid the people of Lothal and other planets in need. After the Galactic Civil War that brought about the New Republic, Hera still prefers flying the Ghost to other ships, using it as her home base for herself, her droid, and her son, Jason. Although the original detachable shuttle, the Phantom, was lost in combat with the Empire, the Ghost operates with the assistance of the Phantom II, a repurposed Neumedonian cephalopede class shuttle. It's the Ghost. It was this. Let's see. It was made. It's so cool. It was made by the Carillion Engineering Company, which is the same company that made the Millennium Falcon. It's just one of those cool ships that you kind of wish you could have yourself, because it may look um it may look unimposing, but underneath it's what what makes a good smuggling ship is not what's on the outside. It's what's beneath. Like the Millennium Falcon, it looked like junk. It looked like trash, but come on, it was one of the fast. It was the engines are what made the Falcon special. What makes the Ghost special? It's stealth tech. It's so cool. Um, I'm looking forward to the acolyte, but But given given the track record that Disney had, I'm not so sure about it. I'm not kind of holding my breath. It's set in the High Republic era, which is about 100 years before the Phantom Menace. So I think we're going to see kind of the height and the beginning of the decline of the Jedi Order and the Republic, because this isn't a era that we've really seen done in live action. We've seen little cartoons and video games, but we never haven't seen a live action era on it. And I'm wondering if we'll see Yoda in this version um, because it's only set 100 years, and he was 900 years when he passed away. So I'm wondering. Uh, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. No, no, I don't see anything on it. But it's gonna be 8 episodes, which is good. 2 parts season premiere only on June the 4th. Cool. Let's see. It's we've seemed to have we've gotten so much Star Wars the past years. We've gotten so many TV shows and cartoons. We've had what? Let's see. Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, Star Wars Legend. Probably about had a half a dozen cartoons, and then what? Mando, Andor, Acolyte coming up, Ahsoka. So we've had maybe a dozen, 10 shows, cartoons, and live action. Are we getting burned out on it on Star Wars? Because I remember as a kid, especially during the prequels, when the prequels were being made. Get once we got the prequels, what, every 3 or 4 years, and it was a special occasion. It meant something. But now with the really, I don't want to say the disappointment in the sequel trilogy, and then the shows and the cartoons. It's all getting Star Wars every day, all day, every day. And then y'all in the chat, share your thoughts. Do y'all think we're getting burned down on Star Wars? Do you think we're kind of getting oversaturated with Star Wars and stuff like that? I'd love to hear what y'all have to say. Um, I mean, we've had some good show. Oh, and Boba Fett. I forgot about the Book of Boba Fett. We've had some really hits and misses with Star Wars over the past 10 years. I mean, the sequel series. Oh, the sequel series movies were just awful. I could not. I just couldn't. Let me see. Trying to find something. I gotta clean up my computer. I got so many files and stuff. Ugh. There it is. One sec. One sec. And I think yesterday was one of the worst moments. Oh, this hurt to see. Um, this was Luke was always one of my favorite characters. And Mark Hamill, his Joker was the one I heard when I would be watching, um, or listening, reading the Batman comics. He was my definitive Joker, and then we have this from yesterday. He looks drunk. Look at him. Look at Mark Hamill. He looks so beaten down. He looks drunk. Ugh. Oh, who? Oof. Yeah, the whole video. I'm not gonna play the whole video. I just got a short, about 2-3 minutes, maybe if I can stomach it. But yeah, John, this is just cringe. Ah! Let's go back then, and make sure you check your volume, John. He's this. What he goes on to say is just mind-boggling. I don't get into politics here, but just because it's Mark Hamill. But yeah, the things he has said over the past 2 or 3 weeks with what's been going on in the world, he's just laser focused on Trump. I'm like, okay, that we have war going on, but you're going to focus on Trump? Come on, dude.
President, the most legislative, successful president in my lifetime.
What? He is drunk. Can you hear it now, John? Let me know if you can't hear it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna turn. I cannot stomach this. Uh, but he goes on to say some of the most out of touch, idiotic things I have ever heard. Let me. Hey, Mimsy, thanks for being here. Yeah, it goes on. He goes on to just. It breaks your heart when you see your heroes, and I watched Mark Hamill on The Flash back when I was a kid. The '90s version. He was the trickster. I was thrilled when he came back on for the CW's cast, Flash, to reprise his role. But then you hear stuff like this. This is why we don't need to know people's actors' politics or their orientations. that's fine if you want to be an activist. I don't think you need to be an activist and an actor at the same time. You know, I heard after Kevin Conroy, who played Batman on in the animated series, I heard he passed away a year or two ago. I heard afterwards that he was gay. Okay, that didn't matter to me. I still loved hearing him as Batman. Yeah, he needed to keep those on because he looked so drunk and just out of it. Yeah. Instead of attacking people like he does, he needs to be using his platform to call for like peace and call for like people to calm down. And yes, use your platform to get the word out, but don't be calling for like for the horrible things that him and these kind of people are calling for. Let me find something. Okay, let's see. Tipsy, he seemed drunk out of his mind. he he must have had a few beer. They must have Joe him and Joe must have had their own little beer summit back there. I sent something to a friend yesterday, I believe. Let me see. There it is. This is how crazy he has gotten. Um, I didn't want to. These are as of yesterday his last like 4 tweets as of yesterday. Here, let me take that off so we can see. May the third be absurd that the guy who tried to steal is allowed to run again. May the second Biden administration be as productive and successful as the first. May the first not quench your thirst for Biden's reelection. It's okay to post a message containing little or no substance whatsoever simply to maintain a presence. Uh, it We're going to fix this country. We need to pay attention to actors and musical artists that are bought and paid for hacks. People who want to destroy us own the news outlets and music too. I have been saying that for a very long time. We have to expose Hollywood, the indoctrinations. Culture flows downhill from Hollywood. And yes, and that's I don't think that's fair for people. People need an escape. I've talked about escapism. We need to be allowed to just do something. That's what the importance of hobbies stream I did a few weeks ago was why it was so important. Because we need that escape, and when we have people like Mark Hamill who um, inject politics and activism into the movies, it ruins that. It does not help their message. It doesn't help when you're beaten over the head with a message. It just really turns you off of it. We've seen it with that oil group from England who have so many times of the past year gone and blocked traffic or thrown paint on paintings, priceless works of art. I was like, what? Okay, what do you think is going to happen? Are you think we're going to um see you destroy a priceless work of art or make us late for work and think, Oh wow, their views. I need to look into their views. I need to see if they're right. Oh yeah. Sports, yeah, too. What's that guy's name from Sports Center? Oh God, I can't. I don't watch ESPN anymore. Haven't in years. Um, he's going on. He goes on about every other broadcast. He's going on about Donnie, and it's like, okay, we don't care about your politics. We care about what you think about how so and so is playing, or how this team's doing. We don't want to hear your politics, and that's what we're getting nowadays. See, I don't think that'll work. I don't think the studios will be allowed to fail. I think they're so integral now, Daisy, in the economy of California and other places like Georgia or Toronto, where two other major places besides Hollywood where shows and movies are made. Most of the Marvel movies before Endgame were filmed up in Atlanta during Civil War. That big fight at the airport was at the Atlanta airport. They're so integral that if they start failing, I think the government's going to come and bail them out. Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't care. I care what you're wearing. Um, yeah, it's like that's what we that's what we want. Yeah, yeah. The most I've watched was clips with like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Keaton. That funny moment between them, and it's uh, Mr. Freeze, Batman, and the Penguin. I don't watch any of those award show because I know the things I like, the sci-fi shows and movies, they'll most likely get snubbed, and so I don't care to watch them. Um, to me, those award shows are just a bunch of Hollywood circle jerks. Now, I want to act, I want to be in stuff, but I don't care about rewards or stuff. I just want to work. I want to create. That's why I'm doing this right now on YouTube, because I haven't been able to get in a show. We haven't had any big shows recently in my town, so I do this to scratch that creative itch. Oh yeah, that used to be a big thing on E. Yeah, my mom used to watch that. My mom and my niece's mom, yeah, they used to watch all that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I can't do a Joan Rivers accent. Oh my gosh, what are you wearing? Or who are you wearing? But oh yeah, and Joan Rivers, she hated this woke bullshit. Before she passed away, she always spoke out about this kind of shit. But we've had great moments, in Star Trek, Star Wars. But we've also had some really horrible moments. I loved season 1 of Mandalorian. I think a lot of people did. The the introduction of one of my favorite characters. Cara Dune is one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. And people are like, oh, you don't like Rey because you don't like strong women. Excuse you, we had Princess Leia, Padme, Cara Dune, and then Mary Ray, Mary Sue Ray. It was every criticism of of Ray. You mean Michael? Yeah, you mean Michael. But every criticism of the character Ray and we're getting another Ray movie. It was just announced that Daisy Ridley should be given the the script to Ray anytime now to read. So they're just finishing up writing the script for Ray, and she's not a Skywalker. She's a Palpatine. They should have it would have been such a good kind of cliffhanger for the next movie if she would have said, "I'm Ray Palpatine," and had like Palpatine kind of like Force Ghost kind of controlling her mind a little bit. That influence could have been left from him. It would have been so good. It would have been such a good idea. But you had almost borderline racism in the prequel series. John Boyega, Finn, he got screwed over so much in those series. One, every Chinese poster that they made, they edited him out. Basically, they would take the same picture from the American or the English posters, translate it Chinese, and they would take Finn out because he was black. And Finn, he had the potential to be such a great character. I love the storyline of the AWOL or the deserter stormtrooper who joins the rebellion or the resistance. I love that. That is such a great idea, and they just crapped on it. It's just in the second prequel. Okay. In the last, excuse me, in the Last Jedi, Finn's entire storyline didn't need to be in there. They had like what 2 or 3 storylines in the Last Jedi, and we did not need. It was too much going on. It really was. They could have condensed Finn's storyline and really had him and Poe's storyline work together or fit in a lot better than it should have. Way too much going on. We had 3 or 4 storylines that we did not need. Yes, we suffer for our little ones, don't we? I suffer for my niece. I got a hamburger waiting. I went and did some running around. I got confused today and thought tomorrow was Mother's Day. Oh, that's okay, Inya. Sounds tasty, though. I forgot Mother's Day was next week, but I have an excuse why I thought that. Because I found a nice red vase of roses at the grocery store a few days ago. But I was there with my mom, helping her out and visiting with her. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get this for her. Crap, I'm with her now. I can't get it now. So I was out today. I'm like, I'm going to go get it for her and give it to her today. Mother's Day's tomorrow. Nope, you're wrong, nerd. It's next week. I'm like, well, I don't know if they'll have it next week. So I got her the vase with red. It's got 2 red roses, 3 pink roses, and 4 white roses in it, and she loved it. So I think I'll get her some like candy or something next week if I can remember. But she loved it. She had a happy early Mother's Day. But Disney with their Star Wars, they start off strong. I think a lot of the woke media, they do this. They'll start off strong, the characters won't be that bad, but as time goes on, and we saw this more in Mandalorian. By season 3, it was not the Mandalorian, it was Bo-Katan. That's what the show focused on. It was, okay, why are we not focusing on Din Djarin and Grogu? We're focusing on Bo-Katan. And why? My daughter tried to make her kid's handprint in one of those kits. Well, I called after and she had plaster all over. She said, "I just did my hand." I remember we did that. We did the like for Thanksgiving where you draw out your hand and uh, then you color it and make it a turkey. A 3-year-old and 1-year-old smacked her with plaster. What are siblings for? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have a little money. I was able to get her something, so I decided to get her something. Yeah. But Mandalorian it started becoming more about Bo-Katan than Din Djarin, and um that's not what we watched for. Um and I'm wondering, my son drew an otter holding a baby otter saying Happy Mother's Day. He said he decided it would be a hippie Mother's Day instead, so at least he really knows me. It's funny. I can hear him saying that. Um, so we started off with in season 1 with Din Djarin, Cara Dune, and Grief Karga. Cara Dune, Gina Carano, and um, Grief Karga, Carl Weathers. I'm wondering since they fired Cara Dune, uh, Gina Carano, and Carl Weathers, who's an amazing actor, loved him as in Rocky as Apollo Creed, one of my favorite movies. I love Apollo's Creed when he's training Rocky in Rocky 3. I love that I love the training sequence when they're in California. Love it. Um, since he's passed away, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with Grief Karga and how they're gonna, because he also directed many of the episodes. Carl Weathers directed a lot of the episodes. So I'm wondering how they're gonna do that. And I'm hoping we don't have a repeat of Lizzo and Jack Black. How long the entire run of Mandalorian, we were always saying, we as fans, we want Christopher Lloyd as a Mandalorian. A Mandalorian who has a DeLorean. Come on, that's funny. Bryn Noon, I hope I'm pronouncing that. Thanks for being here. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you. I don't know how you're watching me. I don't really have an attic. You must be sweating your butt off then because I live in Florida. It's probably it's close to 100 degrees in the attic, in what little crawl space we have it as an attic. And I don't even think you can get to my ceiling in the crawl space. It's just drywall up there. So make sure if you're going to be watching me from my crawl space or the attic space, make sure you're hydrated. Stay hydrated up there. But it was such a this is the way. You use the force. But I'm wondering, since like the last season of Mandalorian ended with Grogu and Din Djarin at their little homestead that Grief Karga gave them. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering how they're gonna handle Carl Weathers' death. I mean, he was in some of my favorite movies. Happy Gilmore as Chubbs. He was great. He was a great actor. That's right. He did In the Heat of the Night. When I was a kid, my grandparents used to watch that show with Carol O'Connor and playing Chief Tibbs. Yeah, and he did. I'm looking at his wiki. He did a lot of stuff that I watched. It was so sad how when he passed away because he was only what? He's only 76, and she is, in my opinion, a bad character. She's poorly written. They tried to retcon it a little bit in the Rise of Skywalker with she knew how to use her force powers with no training at all. When it took Luke all he could, Luke, who was the son of a being born of the Force, Anakin did not have a father because his mother was impregnated by the Force. And some say that huh. Some say that Palpatine learned from his master how to mess with the midichlorians in a way to create life, and he used that to create Skywalker, Anakin, and that's how this. No, you're good, dude. You make all the off-color jokes you want. It was fun. It's funny, dude. You're good. Only rule we have in this chat is do not spam. Spamming is the one way to get you timed out. But she knew how to do stuff without any training, and they tried to change it a little bit in the Rise of Skywalker by having Leia train her, which okay, now all of a sudden we're supposed without telling us, this is what they did in the Last Jedi. Without telling us, all of a sudden Leia has force powers. Okay, why does she have force powers? Well, we're gonna wait until the next movie to tell you why, and we're not gonna really explain to you. We're just gonna show you for 10 seconds that Luke trained her a little bit, and it's the I think they had too many writers coming in. They couldn't keep a concurrent storyline. They wanted, like, I think, who wrote The Force Awakens? Let me see. J.J. Abrams, Lawrence Kasdan, and Michael Ardiff wrote The Force Awakens. Let's see. Who wrote The Last Jedi? Rain Johnson wrote The Last Jedi. Of course he did. And Chris Terrio and J.J. Abrams wrote the Rise of Skywalker. Now, they needed someone. This is, I think, why the sequel or the prequel and the original trilogy worked so well, because George was writing them. George himself wrote those. Of course, he probably had help. Of course, I'm not saying that, but he was involved with the writing. They had the one central figure. I think if JJ would have stuck with all three movies instead of the first and third one, because the first and third ones feel like they fit together better than the second one. The second one just seemed out of place. But also the prequel, the sequel trilogies were the original trilogies just rewritten. Rey was okay. Desert planet with the hero we find on it. Wise old master with Yoda, but instead we get Luke. The plans for the Death Star were the plan or the map to Luke. You had Starkiller Base, which was a set-in for the Death Star. It was not well done. It wasn't well thought out. And how in the hell why should Rey be able to hold up in a lightsaber duel, her first ever time really handling a lightsaber in a battle? She holds up to the grandson of Anakin Skywalker, a fully trained. He wasn't a Sith, but he fully trained dark side user of the Force, and she almost beats him. Come on. Don't expect me to believe that. I got something to say for that.
You mean Richards? Objection, Your Honor. What the fuck is going on here?
That's the question. People ask, what the fuck is going on here? It's ridiculous that these characters should know everything they need to know for the story to progress without being taught. Now, I can understand her mechanical prowess. I can understand Ray being a good mechanic because she's a scavenger. She hunts all the down Star Destroyers for parts to sell on Jakku. And okay, that's fine. You got to read a little more into it. But Finn is made, like the entire first movie, Finn is made to be a complete idiot. And I understand being like socially inept because he's been raised as a stormtrooper. But he's not an idiot. He shouldn't be an idiot. Thanks, John. Thank you. Let's see. Let me check my sub count. $149. I just need one more. Come on, people. Share the stream. I need one more to finally hit 150. Please help me hit my 150 mark. I think if Disney would find experienced writers and keep them on for projects and quit playing these games that they play with us, the audience, and the production side of it, I think we could get some really good material. I think with like a Jon Favreau Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni kind of at the helm, get Kathleen Kennedy out of there. Get her out of there now. She should have been gone years ago. Give it to Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau. Dave Filoni, the man who $150, guys. $150. Check it out. $150. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. $150. Who I'll have to do. I'll do a another stream tomorrow or Monday afternoon. I have a doctor's appointment Monday afternoon, but Tuesday at the latest. Oh, it's good. That's yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. I've been trying to get 150 for like half a year now. But thank you guys. Thank you. But that makes me happy. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, we need to get like Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau who built the foundations that Marvel is based off of. He was the one who got Iron Man off the ground. If it was not for him and Iron Man, we would not have had all the Avengers. Then we have Dave Filoni, the man who sat at the foot of the creator of Star Wars. You know, he worked with George Lucas on Clone Wars and the prequel movies. He knows what. Thank you, Mimsy. Thank you. These guys know how to tell stories. They know the lore of Star Wars. They know the history of the franchise. They know what. I think they're more concerned about telling a good story than making money and getting woke points. I'm not saying that they've been perfect. We saw a little when Jon Favreau kind of stepped back from Mandalorian and after season 2, we kind of started seeing it kind of creep in a little bit, and we saw it in that emasculating moment when the Mandalorian hands Bo-Katan the dark saber. That to me was like, that's handing your manhood over. But it we need good stories like Star Wars, like Tolkien, like these epics. We need these epics because they remind us where we came from. We've had all these classic epics that have influenced our modern mythology. We had the ancient Greek, Norse mythology. All that has influenced our modern mythology with the Supermans, Batman's, Star Wars, Star Trek, all that. Our stories will one day be looked at back at like the stories that we read from the ancient mythologies. One more. Nice. Yes. And I think we have to take care of in how we tell these stories, so I know this is going to sound corny. So future generations can look back at us and see how our society was, because our stories are a reflection of our society. I was talking a few minutes ago about how culture rolls downhill from Hollywood. How are our great grandkids, our great grandkids, if they're around, how are they going to look back at our stories and think of us? But I love Star Wars. I don't love what it's becoming or what they have shown us, what they have told, how the stories they have told and how they have told it. I hope that Disney will see sooner than later that what they're doing is not working, and they need to course. And Star Wars is meant to bring people together. These forms of entertainment, they're supposed to build bridges, not dig caverns that we can't cross. And that's what a lot of these are doing to these products are doing. They're dividing us more than uniting us. So I hope that changes soon. So, and I think with the rise of alternate media like YouTube, Rumble, and content creators that are creating their own things instead of just sitting there complaining and suffering with these bad IPs. They're going out and they're creating their own thing. They're thinking, okay, this entertains me. How can I make it entertain other people? And I think that's what people like, the creative teams with Star Wars and all these other things. They're forgetting that they're not creating it for themselves. They're supposed to be creating it for an audience. So, I sent out a few invites, but I guess everyone's that I sent is busy, or so that's okay. Everyone's doing their own thing. That's okay. So I'm going for about an hour. Happy Star Wars Day. May the Force be with you. Thank you again for getting me over my goal. Thank you guys. I'm so grateful. So I'm the nerd of the Outpost. May the Fourth be with you. And like I say, find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm gone.
Lost in space, I found my beliefs. In this outpost of solitude, my way. Binary code run through my veins. If they bring me then deep, I feel no pain. Signing off, it's time to go. Goodbye, my nerdy friends, see you later. I know through the stars we've shared this ride, but now it's time to say goodbye.